But yeah, give it like 2 more minutes, y'all. What's good? What's good? Core, QB, Royal, Blank. What's going on? Where everybody from? Put it in the chat. Wolf, what's good? Cali, that's right. Yeah. I like to see, you know what I'm saying, the new people, where everybody from. VA. Okay. You where the money at for real? Massachusetts, North Carolina. Solid, solid. What's good, y'all? Texas. Solid, solid. That's right. You from Maryland? Hella expensive? Yeah, the area is really expensive, bro. It's good. All right, Nate. Wait, Hinks, you good?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We good. My camera's messed up. I can't cut my camera on for some reason. It says it's
All right,
on and
cool.
it's flashing, but whenever I'm trying to turn it on in this, it just gives me a black screen. So yeah, it's all good. All right.
Okay. Bet. All right, bet. I think it should go through. All right, there it is. It's good, y'all. What's going on, Nate? What's going on? How do we know our mic is off?
Oh, oh,
So,
okay.
oh yeah, there you go. What's going on, man?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's good? What's good, Nate?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing this, really, and everything that y'all are doing is it's amazing. It's super amazing to open these doors, bridge these gaps, help folks out, and ain't no dollars out there. Ain't nobody saying, well, let me get the bag. So I mean, I think it's amazing to see.
For sure, bro. Definitely glad to have you on, brother. By the way, y'all, I will be I know I forgot what exact date I got it written down, but I will be coming on your platform as well. So appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And the previous guest, we had Hinks come through and
Yup.
share some love and hang out with us.
Man, it
yeah,
was nice. It was
yeah,
great, man. It was real good convo. I tried to give as much game as I could. You know what I mean? I appreciate Nate though for having me on for sure. Nate is he's really good in the community right now, guys. You need people that are consistently always going live, consistently giving out game on a day-to-day basis in everybody's chat, communicating, and that's what Nate is. Nate bridges that gap for everybody. So it's a real prop to have him out here, man. I know a couple people in here already know who Nate is, but if you don't, if you want to give him a little 30-second of, what you are and what you do, and we can get going too.
Yeah. So May 6th, Peasy. May 6th, we're gonna be he's Peasy's a special guest. Looking forward to that. If y'all don't know me, and if you do know me, what's up. And I'm Nate Butler. On TikTok, I am Nate Butler Explains, and I have a rich IT background. Since high school, I've been in IT, and from shadowing the coordinator within our school. I came from a small town, 5,000 population at that time. I'm back in the small town right now, literally right now, and it's moved down to around 4,000 population. So people have gone away, people have passed away, and so it's slow, real slow motion over here. I'm in Missouri, southeast Missouri, but I got here my eighth grade year, and but before that, I moved around a lot. My dad was in the army, and I lived in California, born in Colorado, Kansas, Texas, just all over the place. And but I've always been this techie person. I've always known that I was going to be in tech. I've always been my passion to drive into tech. So I'm big into higher education. Did the bachelor's, did the master's in computer networking and telecommunications, and was given some opportunities out there to study abroad. So I studied abroad in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for 6 weeks, 6 7 weeks. I was out there, and I was going to the University of Sao Paulo, taking a bus every day from where I was at an Airbnb, and we were studying big data. So we were doing cloud computing, and I was also sent out there to Amsterdam to do some work. And so big into traveling. I'm actually gearing up to become a expatriate, and I'll be the cyber expat and taking my skills, taking my knowledge that I've gained over the years, and my family and I were moving. We're going to be moving to Spain and just living life out there and transitioning. So taking my skills that I've gained over the years, climbing the IT ladder, breaking into cybersecurity, and been in cybersecurity over the last 7 years. And I got switched on. I got put on by a mentor, and ever since then, I never looked back and have always trying to help others break in and orient themselves because a lot of it's a mindset thing, mindset shift, and just kept climbing, kept climbing. So I'm doing some security architecture work, security engineer work. I just recently got introduced to the GRC space. So that's where a lot of my time and attention has been over the last year. And I'm also tapped into some of the AI talks and action that's happening out there these days.
No, that's what's up, man. So I heard you mention like you always knew you like tech was for you and you kind of been techie, right? So like I kind of was like that. My side was like I play video games like, and that was kind of my thing. I wanted to like work with like just the tech industry and stuff like that. So like what was like your entry way? Like what was your path? Like your first job? Like how did you first initially get into the industry?
So high school, I shadowed the IT coordinator. Did that for like a school whatever quarter semester in high school, whatever they call it. And then I knew that I was going to go to school and in higher education. So I graduated high school, didn't do anything in tech, and was working at Domino's Pizza. And then I graduated, and I thought I was going to be a computer scientist. I didn't know what that was. I just said it just had the word computer in it, and I was like, that's me. And boy, did I learn quickly. They threw C++ at me, a book this thick, and a professor that there was a big language, big heavy accent, so there's a language barrier there, and I failed. And I was like, damn, that was hard. That was super hard. Already I wasn't even too much involved into the class because I was trying to chase girls and hang out and party. I was trying to live that life. And then I took it again. I took it again. I was like, you know what? I want to be a programmer. I thought I was going to be a programmer once I realized, okay, computer science means programming. Pretty much in my head is what I told myself. And I started taking computer. I took that second class, bombed it again, and I was just at the edge. And then eventually I ended up finding computer networking. So I started taking my educational career into computer network and telecommunications. So my entry into the space was telecommunications. So while I was going to school, I found a provisioning technician, they called it, at a local, it's called Big River Telephone in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and it's a little small little telephone company. And I applied. I did I think it was like a couple rounds, and they knew I was super green. They know I didn't have any tech background, but they knew I was going to school for a telecom and computer networking. So I had the brains for it, and someone gave me a shot. They gave me a shot, and so I worked that. They brought me in, and immediately I've always been this metrics driven person. So I'm like, I've always wanted to be the best employee. I've always given 110% and just threw myself out there on the line and always raised my hand for more work. And hey, I'm finished. Give me the more work, eating it up. And so they gave me more work. They gave me more work. I ended up doing my internship there. They gave me this special E911 assignment. So I was doing things that others weren't doing. I was networking with some of the knock. It was my first time ever hearing about a knock. the
Mm-hmm.
network operations center, and they sat right next to the provisioning technicians. So I would go over there, knock at the door, introduce myself, and just network. Hey, what y'all working on? What's that? Ooh, cool. That's super cool. Let me in the door. This is the whole dark room thing. Computers, everyone's in there typing away, and it was great. And then eventually I graduated from high school, so that was my entry. My next job after that, I started working for another telecom company, Charter Communications. I got to St. Louis and through a recruiter. This one wasn't a direct application; it was through a recruiter, Tech Systems. Tech Systems, and I reached out. I don't even know how I got in touch with Tech Systems because I didn't even know anything about staffing agency. But I ended up getting connected with them, or they ended up contacting me about the gig over at Charter, and I was like, green light, go. It's something in tech. It's not exact. I thought I was wanted to be an IT help desk. Like that's what I
Okay.
wanted to be. That's what I wanted, man. I was like, I wanted a help desk role, but I took what I could get, and again, they put me into provisioning technician on the residential side. And then I hurried up and climbed up to the business level, and my metrics always shine. And then Tech Systems called me back and was like, "Yo, we got something else. You want to do a help desk?" I said, "Yeah, I want some help desk." So my first help, I was in St. Louis, Missouri, as my first help desk role, and I was working for this company called Via Systems, and I was at the headquarters of the company that was a global company, and I was supporting the C-suite, and it was my first help desk role. It was just me and another person, and the scope was super narrow. And, they kept me real tight with, you support these boys. Yeah, we're gonna have other stuff that you got to do, but these top two floors that we on, make sure they got everything that they need. So I was quickly introduced to the hustle and bustle of, some VP out there slamming their computer on the desk and just, why is this broken? And I'm like, bro, you just slammed it on. I didn't say that, but I was just in my head like, you just slammed it on the. You just too rough. So I know how to work with text, but this
I had
it,
something
it was
just like
just
that happen recently. It's crazy. They the similar to that. We think that these are backpacks, and we thought for some reason he said it just the screen went black, blah blah blah, and he went to cybersecurity because he's like, oh, something could be wrong with my computer, and it was having those issues, and he's like, somebody's in it. We look at the jack where like either the charger's in or one of the plugs, the HDMI or something like that, and it looks all bent and broken. We think that he like left it in and just threw it in his backpack, one of his USBs or something, and just threw it in down that way and just started to tear it up that way. Like it's crazy stuff like that happens, and they don't even realize that. So that's really crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's kind of my intro into like tech space. I see someone asked about how old I was. Um, had to be like 19. I'm 37 right now, so I think it was like 19, 20. It was like right when I graduated. A couple years into me going to school and getting my bachelor's.
So you essentially like kind of started off in the help desk ish. So you, especially when you got in, you're saying since 19 and you're 37 now, so like you've seen kind of this market shift, so you will. What does that shift look like in the market, like versus when you first got into like now?
So, um, I would say that had to do very little effort and people were contacting me. Versus today, the shift is there's a lot of effort that folks have to do. I didn't have any certs. I didn't have to have this pretty super duper resume. ATS was not popping like that. So I didn't have to have a resume writer. I gave them this junker of a resume. I still have all my resumes. I mean, it looked like trash, but the shift, the interviews processes, couple of interviews and you're in, like not this grueling panel base that I'm seeing these days. the 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 space of people wanting to work in the space, it wasn't as as jumping as it is now. It's buzzing. I mean, everyone needed that. They still needed tech support. I would show up places, and it was a small team. Now companies have expanded, and so has their teams, so has their requirements, and so has their needs. So, I guess that's some of the main ways that I've seen some of the differences.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. So, my first role, like, I did 5 interviews total, which is ridiculous, and I had two technical, two behavioral, and then they flew me out for an on-site on top of that. So, like, I was desperate to a point where, like, okay, I'm just trying to get to the bag. I
I get
need
it.
my foot in the door. Like, I need this opportunity, and that's I was willing to do that. But I'm not gonna lie, me being where I'm at now, I'm like, I would never ever, especially in this job market, like do 5 interviews because it's like if you don't know about 5 interviews
Mm-hmm.
and you find me out, like,
Yeah.
dog, like we got problems. We got problems because that's ridiculous, bro. People just don't have that time, like, to do that. Like most people don't have the time that I had to go and fly out and do all of these interviews, like, and then tell me at the end that I don't have a job. That's ridiculous. So companies sometimes companies will play with you, but there is hope too, though. Um, for people that know me in the community, I had 3 offers in a week. Had 10 interviews that week, crushed 3 of them, got offers, right? So like there are good companies out there and they do value your time. Like one of the offers, I did 1 interview and got the job. So there is hope, but there are plenty of BSers out there too. Um,
I got a couple of things to say about that. One, you get those swings at the plate. You need those swings at the plate for practice to know what they're asking. And then two, some folks are sourcing answers to see if they can do the job themselves. I got invited to an interview. It sounded like it was going to be fantastic opportunity. They we got on. I gave them all the sauce, gave them some links, showed up with the whole presentation, and knocked it out the park. And then quiet. You know, they even said during the interview, "Hey Nate, full transparency, we're gonna make this decision that's the best for the company." And today we have a team. You're looking at the team, by the way, 3 people that we're checking to see if we can get this done. You know, what's the lift look like? So we need someone who could tell us what are some of the things that we're going to run into. What are some of the things that we should be looking out for? I did that in good faith of like, yeah, they're gonna want me, but there's people who are sourcing, farming answers out of farming solutions out of those interviews. So be on the lookout for that too.
yeah, especially I see a lot of that on the dev side. Like they'll have you literally do the work in the interview. Like you're literally coding their problems. You're coding their problems. You're building their infrastructure in the interview, which is crazy. Like that, I find that, yeah, I couldn't do it. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I want to kind of circle back. So, uh, we typically like to ask questions. You know, we're gonna ask a few more questions, but I do want to give time to the folks here to be able to actually raise your hand. So if y'all see y'all should see a button at the bottom of your screen. Y'all can raise your hand, and then we'll bring y'all on. Y'all can ask y'all questions, or y'all can put them in the chat too. So y'all can go ahead and start doing that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna let Hinks talk. I know I've been running my mouth, so.
Nah. You're good. Nate, what do you see now getting into the industry? What do you see the common trait in the person that's actually getting a role, that person that actually getting into interviews? Because I hear a lot of people aren't getting into interviews. They can't even make it to that portion. What do you think? What are you seeing from those people that can lead you to
And
believe that they're actually going to get interviews and actually going to push that extra mile to do something?
I think what I've been seeing is the folks who are constantly adjusting, not just coming up with this one. I got my resume tight. I got everything right on my LinkedIn. you're going to continuously make refinements. So I've seen folks just continuously look for things that are not working and tweaking. And they say like, "Hey, if you're doing something repetitively and it's not working, then you gotta switch it up. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
switch it up." So that's what I'm seeing is that people are doing is they're switching things up, and it doesn't have to be. You should be keeping track of the things that you're tweaking, from how you're answering questions to what you're putting on the resume to what roles that you're targeting. I think those are some of the key elements that are important to look out for.
And also with that, because we like this, I like to tell people to split test resumes, but I'm never. And if you can give a little sauce to anything for split testing resumes, anything that you find that is something that people overlook, but that's usually their most common thing that they can fix that'll help their resume out. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I would look out for. One, with the resume, there's applicant tracking systems out there, and you want to know if your resume is performing. One way to test and look and see if there are changes to your test is if you are if you're not getting anything back from anyone, like you're not even getting a deny letter, something is wrong with that resume. Like the format, the however you're organizing it, however you are, what font you're using, something is wrong, terribly wrong, because you should at least get a deny letter, and it could be automated. And if you that's your clue, okay, if I got the deny letter, yeah, it's bad. It's not what we want.
Yes,
However,
sir.
it's a test to confirm that something at least landed into it got through gate number one. Is this a real
Mm-hmm.
resume? Yeah, it's real. It's not a bot. It's not a game. It got through. Someone said, "All right, that's a no. Kickback." And so things that I would look to see is formatting. What are you using to create the resume? And what are you uh, what are you putting on that resume? Is it general? Is it for just a any security engineer job? Is it for any, or is it hyper focused on one job, one type
Niching
of
down,
role?
yeah.
Is it niche down? Um, so that's where I see. That's where I start looking. That's where I would start looking, and yeah, I would start there. That's that's
Mm-hmm.
that's a good start.
Oh yeah, shout out Times New Roman. AP, getting into that though. Towards the end, oh my god, it just cooked me. It just cooked me right now. No, no, Times
So
New
Times New
Roman.
Roman.
Shout out to Times New
See,
Roman.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
I used to use Times New Roman. I was kind of getting hits. It gave me a little hit when I started. I'm not gonna lie.
So one thing also too is what did you use to build the resume? And I think as this was going to say earlier is that folks are now tapping into latex, LATEX, to build out their resume in some sort of latex editor like
Mm-hmm.
Overleaf, and that gives you a little bit more access. You're building it with code, and I just had my resume built with latex, and when you upload a resume into the applicant application system and it tries to auto parse and put all your information in there, to me that's a clue that something is not formatted right, something's not if the parser can't pull your information easily, something could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who built my resume recently uses LaTeX or Markdown language to build it, and it doesn't parse. It doesn't parse, but even though it didn't parse easily, I have a resume that's able to parse. So I upload that one, and then it parses all my information. But then when the resume that I actually submit is the one that was, dropped down to one page and, bold certain areas, easier for folks to scan it. A human eye can scan it easier.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and I got some game for that too. So like, there's some sauce for real. So like, what y'all can do is like, there's tools out there. You may have to pay for some of them. Some of them are free. I use one that's completely free, but there's tools out there. So if you go to Google right now and you just type in ATS resume builder, it'll check if your resume qualifies and it'll give you a percentage of you possibly
Nice.
for that specific job. So you can put in your resume and it'll give you percentage back of the possibilities of you getting past the ATS scanner.
Yeah.
So that's some real game if you look that up. So that's
ATS
another
resume.
yeah ATS resume builder or checker.
And niching down AP, if you wanted to go a little into that, because we talk about it all the time
Oh
in
yes,
niching
yes,
down.
bro.
I mean,
So we always like myself, Hinks, we're big believers in power in the niche, right? I'm not saying limit yourself in your career to one specific niche, but like especially if you're beginning or trying to get into an industry, I do think it's power into finding what exactly you want to do, focus on that set of skills, and then kind of get into the job that way. So I'm curious. This is kind of I've been asking questions for the people, but this is a question for me personally. So like I'm curious for you. You said you do some like security engineering work and stuff like that. So I'm just curious, like I'm an IAM engineer now. He's as a IAM engineer. I'm curious to know like, and I'm familiar with like okay, IAM is a big subset of security engineering. They all kind of play together. Cloud security, right? Um, how do you see like IAM evolving to what it is now? Because there is a huge market demand for IAM now versus like a few years ago, it wasn't how it is now.
Yeah. Well, with there's the AI piece that's always there. There's automation that gets brought into the equation. But what I'm seeing, if you go to the different job boards that are out there, LinkedIn, Dice, Indeed, the list goes on, and start searching for IAM, you're going to see a lot of engineers and you're going to see a lot of architects. There's a big need for architects and engineers. So I would, if you're tracking the patterns and looking to see the trajectory, you should be looking at architect level roles. What are they doing? You should be looking at engineer level roles and what are they doing? What technology are they touching? What type of tools are they using? What methodologies are they using? Just whatever, and look for those patterns.
Okay. So how do you see like somebody that is like they're working in IM and they want to transition into like broader things like security engineering or cloud security? How do you see like how would you suggest that transition?
Yeah, so that's a that's a good one because when you're searching security engineers, solutions engineers, um, whatever they call them, the name in which they call these roles will confuse a lot of people. So it's really the description that folks really should be looking for. It's really the technology that folks should be looking for. So as a security engineer, if you want to, specialize or have your hands heavy into any EDR solutions, or if you want to implement SIM solutions, then you should be typing in SIM technologies from Splunk to Microsoft Sentinel to the list goes on that's out there. And you should be typing in EDR solutions that you want to get your hands on from CrowdStrike to Microsoft products. Get vendor specific as you're searching for these roles. And then you get hit because they're going to call it security engineer sometimes, and other times they're going to call it product engineer. Sometimes they're going to call it
hmm Splunk
anything. It's going to
engineer, Sentinel engineer, Elastic engineer. They're gonna call it CyberArk engineer, Okta engineer, and they're gonna call it for these vendors, and that it gets hits on that because of the skill aspect as well as he's talking about the skills, the technologies, what you've touched, dead on.
yeah. Yeah,
But
so I see someone breezy.
Let QB as well. We got QB in here. Let me mute her real quick.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know she has a
yeah.
question as
He's
well.
in here, and then
Good
also
evening.
much Diggy. I think he requested to come on too. I
Yep.
sent the invite to come on. I'm not sure if I caught it late, but You can request as well if you want to. But go ahead, QB.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Nate, for being on today and speaking to us. I appreciate it very much. I did have some questions for you regarding something you mentioned earlier that really stuck out to me. And I know you started in the industry uh, quite a while ago, and you had mentioned that, there wasn't a whole lot of, I guess, benchmarks to really hit in order to be seen or to even get an interview. And I'm kind of one of those individuals who, I'm trying to break in, and I'm doing kind of the opposite where I got 10 cybersecurity certs under my belt. I've taken several boot camps, an apprenticeship, um, different programs, SANS courses. I've done projects and, just trying to do everything I can.
Don't say you're having problems. Don't say you're having problems with all
Oh,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm getting interviews. However, I haven't obviously I haven't landed a role yet. But so I just wanted to ask you, like, what suggestions would you have for someone like me who, you know, I've got the certs and the projects and the this and the that. I'm
Yeah.
trying my best to, you know, implement more networking on LinkedIn, although I rare like recruiters will reach out to me before, like, if I try to reach out to a recruiter, I won't hear back most times. But the ones who reach out to me, like, they'll reach out to me. But as far as me trying to reach out, I don't really get much traction that way. I've also tried to reach out to hiring managers and whatnot. Like I'll get like they'll accept my connection request, but I don't hear anything. So I'm just trying to figure out, what am I not doing right? What
Yeah.
other things would you recommend that I implement? I recently passed the Okta Certified Administrator, and I plan to take the Okta Certified Consultant. Only my strategy behind that is so that eventually one day I can also one day take the Okta Certified. Well, they have an architect
Yeah,
certification now.
I've heard
And
enough. I've heard enough. Like your drive is fire. Your commitment to learning and building on your skills is amazing. You're doing all the right things, all the right things in that respect. And keep going. And you're super close. It sounds like you're super close. And you did say that you're getting interviews. You did say that you are going to start reaching out on, doing even more LinkedIn networking. And I think that that's smart, and getting creative with, some of these roles that are, first of all, there's hiring freezes out there, y'all. There's hiring freezes out there, real ones. So, and there's people that's getting laid off and that everyone's applying. So the competition, you're going against some crazy competition right now. And it's not to deter you, it's to give you that knowledge that, okay, I need to come with it when it's time to show up for those interviews that you're getting invited to. You're gonna have to show out. I mean, when you show up, you got to show up with an immense amount of energy, that you want to be there, that you have done your education and research on that organization. You know what's happening within the industry vertical. You know what you would do in the first 30, 60, 90 days. And you need to show that you are ready to hit the ground running, because folks are in desperate need of people who have knowledge on the skills and can that knowledge on the work that they need them to do, and some exposure to it, and they'll give you a shot. But you gotta show up. And it sounds like you have the ambition. It sounds like you have the brain. And it sounds like I've been hearing a lot of the theoretical certs that you're tackling. But the question is, how are you on the keyboard? Are you getting busy out there when it comes to some of the octas and some stuff like that that you've been touching? Are you
well,
hands
yeah,
on? You
there are labs. These, like, the biggest percentage of the scores with these certs are lab based. So, um,
fantastic.
yeah.
So So creative, we have to get creative. We have to lean into some of the roles that are some of the organizations that need spots filled don't have a job posting out there yet. And those roles are ready to fill the seat. Those roles, they're looking for people and they're sourcing from within. They're saying, yo, anyone here want to do this job? Nah, I don't want that job. Okay, y'all know anybody that wants to do the job? If you know someone, let me hook me up with their resume. So that's continuous exposure to people, to networking, to conferences, to local meetups, to family, friends. That's just telling folks what you have going on and continuing that education piece because you're gonna need it. It's not gonna stop. But I would say you're going hard in the paint. You're going so hard in the paint that you may get a job that uses zero octa. Even though I would say that you should be hunting for the roles that drop into the search queries in the keyword searches octa. Search for that technology and go knock on those doors. And if the key the some sauce that I recently been doing and have been hearing that's been successful, don't just put in the application and just vanish and wait for folks to hit you. Put in that application, and then within 48 hours, there's a rule that you should be. Hey, I'm here. I I put in an application, just checking up and following up to make sure that it's been processed and that I'm here. So you show up with that good energy, and I think those are some areas. What are your thoughts about what I just said?
No, I think it's legit. A lot of what you said makes sense, especially with the whole following up after submitting my application in case I don't hear back. There's one role I am eager to hear back from, but I haven't reached back out since their recruiter sent me some screening questions, and that's with BlackRock. Um, but
Yes.
I just don't know like what the whole etiquette should be like. Like, should you
You
know?
got you got to bulldoze your way through some of these doors. If the etiquette is the piranha method, whoever's the biggest baddest fish gets the shot. Like they're really looking for people with high amounts of confidence, and willing to show that they know that they're the best fit. And everyone's style is different, but during that phase or stage, you may have to try to test, like we're saying, test some of the different demeanors, different etiquette. Try to be a little bit more aggressive and see how that plays out. See if you get someone giving you some attention, the progress that you're looking for, because it sounds like you're getting attention. And with the recruiters hitting you up, your resume's right. Your
Shout out to
profile
AP.
presence is what.
I say shout out to AP.
Yeah, you got that booming. You got the public presence booming because they're going to see that resume and they're going to quickly search you up. And if that ain't in alignment, you're not getting that call. But if they find that your a public social media presence, LinkedIn and whatever is right, you got that right too. So you're optimized in great areas. It's more execution, more swings at the plate, and more time. Whenever you're interviewing with those folks, what's the response at the towards the end? Are you getting the during the interview? Are you getting the yeah yeah? Are you walking in dominating that interview and just showing up and just kick starting things? How's your demeanor when you're in the interview?
Some of them, I mean, they've all been, somewhat different. Some have been great energy, others have been a bit sloppy. So it just, I guess it depends on the role, it depends on the panel. There's been quite a few panel interviews, more so than just individual interviewers. Um, and For the most part, yeah, they're engaging, they're interacting with me, they're responding back to, the information that I put out there. As far as like going deeper into like just with when I had last week, as far as them going deeper into their pain points or the issues that they're having, and them just kind of like piggybacking off of the information that I give them for that particular issue that they're having. So it just depends. Like some have been terrible, but others have been well, um, or at least I believe they have. I just you know haven't heard back from some, and then others, you know, they were upfront and rejected me, the next week or whatever. So yeah,
Cool.
all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just getting
What you
more
gotta
reps
keep.
thinking?
in. You were there though. You're getting to the interview, so it's. I mean, you're getting to the point where that's the probably hardest point for people to get to, and you're getting to that point speaking in these panels. So you know what I mean. Just continue to do what you're doing, and with more time with Rep, AP had. AP, how many interviews do you have again total?
35.
And he,
There's 35 different companies, like actual, not recruiter screens, 35 actual like live
panel interviews, second
talking to the
second
panel,
second level
35.
interviews.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because I
it
suck.
just I'm telling
I
you,
suck
reps
at
is getting
interviewing.
in.
Yeah, I was terrible at interviewing, and then I was like, you know what? You know what made the biggest switch for me was confidence.
Mm.
Like the biggest switch. Like I knew I had the skills, but I would go into interview being so scared, so timid, and not showing my personality and stuff. But then with the biggest switch for me, it was like, okay, I'm so tired of being terrible. I'm gonna just show up and be myself and be confident. And then that made all the difference. Like they start showing a different type of respect. I stopped seeing these questions to try to grill me. Like I start seeing these different type of questions. Oh, you into sports? Oh, you do this? Oh, you do that? Like one of the interviews, like all we did was talk about sports. Like you can ask my manager currently. He'll be like, this dude talked about the Baltimore Ravens that all 5 interviews. So it was like, yeah, we can work with this guy. So little stuff like that too matters. Um, but
No,
I
one
know,
hundred percent.
No, but yeah,
yeah,
I know who else we have. We had Jeeve up here coming up
yeah,
next.
I want to get to, yeah, I want to
Yeah,
get to,
Thank
yeah,
you.
appreciate you, QB.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna keep going.
Got it,
QB's name
QB.
is what you gonna see next. I'm not gonna lie. Let me.
What's going on, guys?
What's good, Jeeve? How you
What's
doing?
up? What's up?
Doing good. What's good, Hank? What's good, AP? What's good, Nate?
What's up? What's
Appreciate the
up?
game that you put down, man. It's always good to join these calls and just kind of just soak up. My question is basically, you guys been in cybersecurity. I'm still new to the whole cybersecurity realm. I'm currently working help desk. I've been working help desk for like about a year now, and I was just, looking up cybersecurity news, and I was seeing something about some 19-year-old that recently got arrested, and they were a hacker for some organization called Scattered Web. And I was just looking more into it, and I guess a few months ago, they hacked the MGM Grand, and the method that they were using was basically contacting the company as a help desk associate and getting MFA authentication. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure exactly the whole details of it, but apparently they were holding ransom for something, and apparently the damages that they did to MGM Grand was like $150 million. And I was curious because I don't really understand fully the whole cybersecurity layout, but this type of incident or whatever, is this something that I am, because it's an identity type of thing, or is this something? I'm just curious because cybersecurity is, the more I look into it, it's just becoming more and more interesting to me as far as space. So I was just curious if you guys knew like what what kind of cybersecurity department would this entail?
This so regarding the MGM Grand, that was more on an access of human error because let's be honest, social engineering is the number one cybersecurity attack. It's gonna be human error is going to be involved in it, whether that is somebody being manipulated or somebody accidentally deleting things. But human error is the main error in that. So if somebody's coming in to social engineer themselves to get access to the company, that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna say that's not gonna be on IAM. I don't know what the whole gist of why MGM got hacked, but if it had to do with help desk, then them getting access through a help desk's, making an account for them and doing all this stuff, it starts with social engineering. So cybersecurity awareness in every company is what they try to preach and try to get, as many eyes on, because phishing always happens. People getting phishing emails to their work emails because they want some access in the company. They want to be able to see your books. They want to be able to, try to get money out of you with invoices. Things like this happen all the time. I don't know, Nate, AP, if you guys have stuff like that happen too, but it happens in the industry. I hear a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And no one's safe. And what we're talking about right now is a big organization, that has a lot of moving parts. A casino has a lot of moving parts, and they have a robust security team. And it's not just SOC engineers and SOC analysts. They have, the whole shebang bang from
They have a pen
CISO.
test team.
They have incident response team. They have multiple layers of defense. And but to your point, Hinks, like, when it comes to the human error, the human factor, it could be the weakest link. So education, another part of security, cyber education, security awareness, and there's a lot to unpack there, but I want to land at there's no one safe from small to mid-sized businesses all the way up to large organizations like that.
Yeah, and to pick up back on that, like there's a ton of different like attack methods hackers use to get into the organization, whatever. So some attackers, so pretty much what they're doing, they can pretty much use AI voices to get into the help desk, and they'll ask, like, for example, if I ask Nate, what is the high school mascot that you had, or what was your favorite color, what was your high school best friend? These typical security questions, right? That you'll know will come up, and they'll literally use his voice from the phone call, put that to help desk, and get past that MFA using those security questions, or his bank, get into his bank information, and now it's breached. So like stuff like that. Like there's even roles. Like for example, my company we have a role. A lady, her job is literally just security awareness. Like that's a very, 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 very niche role. A lot of companies don't even have that, but like that alone right there. Like and people tell me, oh, AI are taking jobs. How can AI take that job if your company deems that as important? So like it's a lot of it's getting vicious out here, y'all. Like it's what do you say? Okay. But yeah, I wanna before we head out, right? I know we had I thought I saw one or two people. I wanted to get one more question through before we left off right there. But if y'all don't have no questions, we can go ahead and wrap it up. Um
Man,
but yeah.
type one in the chat if you guys got any game, bro. Type one in the chat if Nate came in here and dropped some sauce. I appreciate him for coming out here and spending his time. He could be doing anything with his day, but he came out here and gave an hour of his time, gave game out, doing something that, is ultimately what we all aspire to do, is to teach as many people how to get into cybersecurity, because I didn't know about it until I heard about it. I had no clue about cyber. It was never on my radar. I wanted to design games as a kid, but I never went to the point of trying to program on a computer. I didn't have access to that stuff till a little bit later. So it's like I never knew about this, but it's something that I'm always passionate. I ended up building my PC when I saved up all my money from working a summer job and bought a PC, built my own thing, and learned all that stuff. Like once you get that bug for it, and once you get that itch, you can just do your own deep dive, and you'll get more information than you ever known. Like it. And shout out to Nate, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. For real, y'all doing some special things. I want to make sure y'all are left with the mindset piece. That was I was working when I was telling you about my IT background and how I came up. I thought I was going to keep climbing and just continue being the IT guy, and that was cool for me. But then when I met my mentor that I have today in Charlotte, North Carolina, I was switched on. I was activated. I was given cybersecurity like, hey, look, Nate, you've been doing cyber, and here's how. Those areas were highlighted for me, and so I was put on. Someone put me on, and then I just never looked back ever since then, and just kept going forward, kept adopting more frameworks and knowledge and skills and tools, and it opened doors. Once you're connecting with certain folks, and you can't just connect with one person and get that mindset switch. You got to keep going. Go connect, continue to build. Go find mentors in the space that can work with you, that want to invest time in you, with you, and have it be a natural interactions with that mentor, because that's when you get the most game. That's when they just like ooze out information, and you're just trying to pick it all up, and then you show back up with, oh, here's something I've been working on. And based on what you said, here's that book you gave me, and now I got this, and now I'm leveled up over here. And they're gonna look at that and, okay, let me drop some more game, and just keep going back, keep going with that mindset shift. And QB, I don't know if you're still here, but test out the different. I see you over there. Test out the different roles that you're applying for. We didn't get into it, but play around with. You're getting into the space. Sometimes those roles may not be for you. Sometimes you might be some need to be somewhere else. So I would play around with that. Look into deeper into what roles that you can maybe try to pivot over to. Maybe there's some AI related stuff that you should be doing. Maybe it's IAM still touching identity, but layering in some other components. So I play around with that.
Facts, and I'm gonna
No, for
drop
sure. Yeah,
Nate's
somebody in the comments said, "Does a window close
after
after
45 to
40?"
learn cyber. You can learn cyber at any age, brother. I'm not gonna lie. It's not something where it's age restricted. It's not. It's anyone can learn it. You have to be 18, I guess, technically to get a role, but you can get certs before you're 18. I wanted to ask about that, Nate. Do you have to be 18 to get certs, or because doing
Bro,
some?
the people in high school getting these
Okay,
certs.
okay, yeah.
They ripping and running. Now,
Mhm,
certain certs have a prerequisite that you have to do this cert first before you go get that other cert.
mhm,
But other than that, there's likely some experience. Once you start to get into the big boy certs, there's some experience that you have to have, or perhaps some education that can count as experience.
mhm,
But that whole after 45, I will say this. I will say this, that the folks who are so there's a trick that's going on these days, that when your resume, not putting your dates of graduation of for your education,
mhm,
so that way you don't automatically exclude yourself from an opportunity based on someone who looks at that and be like, oh, we got someone who's a little bit older. They graduated in '88. Oh no, we moving on. Like, and you don't want to put yourself in that boat, even though they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be doing that. But it do roles look for young talent? Absolutely, they want
mhm,
young talent. But does that automatically disqualify folks who are trying to break in? And no, absolutely not. In fact, I would argue you have a place. I would ask more questions about your background. What have you done? What industry verticals have you been around? Because that's experience that
mhm,
could be valuable if presented in the right arena, in the right forum, in the right space. You come from a financial background, like you've been doing banker work, and you know how banking works, and you come into the space and you want to break into a GRC related role, but you have all this banking background. You know a lot of the processes and procedures that the banking industry has. So that's valuable to someone. Maybe if you go try to work at an aviation company, maybe that is valuable.
mhm.
But so look at your background.
Yeah, you always have some type of transferable skills.
Yeah. And guys, I'm gonna throw Nate's TikTok in the chat as well again, man. Make sure everybody goes over there and gives bro a follow. And because Nate is always hosting lives and there's always game being given out daily. So it's like I see him in everyone's comment section. I see him everywhere. Nate is a crazy hustler, and he's been in the industry long enough to be giving out the game that you know what I mean. And so I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep doing this, and very happy to see what y'all have going on here. It's very special.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Likewise, we'll be coming on your platform soon. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all tap in with him. Like Hank said, like dope guy. Hope y'all got something out of this. We're gonna keep doing this. Hope to have you back again. Yeah.